It's Kadasalin on Sporting Icons.
Okay, so the IBF mandatory in Filip Hrgovic has spoken about Anthony Joshua. And this is what he had to say. I'm careful not to learn too much and become something that I'm not. I think that happened to Anthony Joshua. He was a beast, a knockout artist. Then he started to box too much and overthink. Filip Hrgovic's statement. Now, whether you like Anthony Joshua, whether you don't, whether you rate him, whether you don't, you have to agree, at least to a certain extent, of what Filip Hrgovic is saying. Because Anthony Joshua became this big superstar for being that beast, that knockout artist, a guy who will go for it in fights. And more often than not, he'd get a knockout victory, right? But then, of course, obviously that Andy Ruiz Jr. fight happened. Then in the rematch, he opted to box him, which is the smart thing to do. Okay, Tyson Fury's proven that at times. When it's time to box, you box. When it's time to go on the front foot, you go on the front foot. But when he fought Kubrat Pulev, as in Anthony Joshua fought Kubrat Pulev, he mixed it up a little bit. He would box, very, very smart, and when it's time to put the pressure on, he would put the pressure on. He would go inside, throw the uppercuts, throw the big hooks, all that kind of stuff, and ultimately he got Kubrat Pulev out of there. Against Usyk, he decided to try and outbox him, try and prove to the naysayers, the doubters, that Anthony Joshua can't box, which is a little bit silly, really, considering that he outboxed Andy Ruiz Jr. He outboxed Kubrat Pulev, so there's no reason to try and outbox an Alexander Usyk. When you're the bigger man, the stronger man, you go for it. And that's pretty much what cost him the first fight. In the rematch, of course, he was trying to mix up a little bit. He was being a boxer and trying to be aggressive at the same time. Of course, yes, he did hurt Usyk. I forget what round it was. Was it round 9 or 10 or something? Anyway, now, of course, people are saying that Anthony Joshua's gun shy. He's trying to box too much, where he's not a natural boxer. He's a natural, big, strong, thudding heavyweight who will put your lights out. And it's hard to disagree with. Now, Anthony Joshua, of course, he's trying to become the all-rounded boxer. He said it himself. He's trying to add new things to his game. There's nothing wrong with that. Whereas where he was the beast, where he was going in there to knock people out, people were saying, but when he gets caught, he's going to get put over. His defense is leaky, all that kind of stuff. So he tightens up the defense, and suddenly now he fights scared. Listen, he's never going to win as far as public opinion is concerned. But I think he is missing that aggressive streak. He does have a good chin. People say he's chinny. Is he? I've never seen Anthony Joshua on the floor out cold. Never seen it. Andy Ruiz Jr. knocked him, okay. But he kept getting back up again, even though his equilibrium was way out. Usyk didn't knock him out in either fight. Nearly did in the first fight, in round number 12. Nearly. But didn't. So people who say Anthony Joshua is chinny, I don't know where people get that from, when there's plenty of heavyweights out there who's hit the canvas far more than Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury being one of them. Deontay Wilder being another. So are they chinny too? Hey, listen, at the end of the day, I think Anthony Joshua needs to not worry too much about getting hit. Just do what he's natural to do. He got to the top. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Of course, there were cracks in there because of what happened with Andy Ruiz Jr. But it's boxing. You're going to get hit. It doesn't matter what you do. You're going to get hit. You can't go into a boxing match and not get hit. But the trick is to hit your opponent harder and faster than he hits you. That's the idea of it. And that was working for Anthony Joshua for a hell of a long time. He was the kind of guy who would get himself in range so his opponent would throw the punch. And because he's so fast, his counter-punching would get people out of there. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see what Anthony Joshua does next. If it's going to be Derek James or whoever it is he's going to be training with, hopefully they bring that side out of him. Maybe he could employ a sports psychologist or something like that. Because to worry about what's going to come back, listen, okay, it happened once. It happened with loads of fighters. It happened with Lennox Lewis. It happened with Vladimir Klitschko. It's happened with a lot of fighters. Tyson Fury's been chin-checked before. And yes, you do have to tighten up your defense. Of course you do. But not at the expense of what made you the successful boxer that you are. So I can't disagree with what Filip Hrgovic is saying. And of course, what he's saying is he's not going to try to be something that he's not. And he's absolutely right. Most fighters are what they are. If you're an aggressive, come forward, big puncher, that's what you are. If you're a pure boxer, back foot, that's what you are. Add little bits here and there, but never at the expense of what your natural personality is in that boxing ring. And I think that's what Filip Hrgovic is saying. It's hard to disagree with. But I'm sure Anthony Joshua will come back. Will become a 3-time heavyweight world champion at some point. Yeah, I firmly believe he will. But anyway, my thoughts, drop me yours, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.